let's move on. Ohio State, Western Kentucky. Why in the world would we talk about this game? Well, because it looks on paper like this line is too big. 27.5 is what Ohio State is giving away. Now, think about this, though. Think about this. This is going to be the first game since Ryan Day named his starter Kyle McCord. All of the talk, all of it, has been surrounding a narrative that Ohio State has not been good enough offensively. The offensive line has not been good enough. Heck, if you listened to my podcast yesterday, I talked all about it. I've watched the film, and yeah, there are definitely things that they can do better. There's no doubt. Having said that, don't you trust a guy in Ryan Day to make those corrections? I think Kyle McCord is going to start to play better. 1, he's going to get all the reps in practice, and 2, he's going to get all the reps in a game, and 3, he's got Ryan Day in his back pocket. Like, this is a guy that coaches quarterback as well as anybody in the country. All right. They got going a little bit in the first half last week against Youngstown. They finally got Marvin Harrison going a little bit. He had a huge day, in particular in that first half, 7 catches for 160 yards and a couple of touchdowns, albeit they had some atrocious broken coverages from Youngstown that they took advantage of. But listen, they got going a little bit. Now, the offense is only 71st in scoring offense and 119th on third down. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, like, all the things you're saying, Joel, would suggest that when they're facing a Western Kentucky team that likes to throw it around a little bit with a quarterback in Austin Reed, like, maybe Western Kentucky is going to cover this. Yes, but think about the motivation. Think about what they've got next week. This is not a look-ahead game. This is a bounce-back game for Ohio State. Ryan Day is going to desperately want to get this offense on track. I don't think they're going to leave anything out there. So to me, based on the motivation of the game, the motivation of trying to get this offense into a spot where they have confidence going into the Notre Dame game in a week, I like Ohio State. A lot of money is going to go to Western Kentucky in this game because that's a big line, and Western Kentucky can throw it all over the country. They're second in the country in passing last year, throwing for over 350 yards. And this year, they're in the top 15 in both scoring and passing. So all the numbers and the metrics would suggest, based on Ohio State's struggles, that you should go with Western Kentucky. But think about the motivation. Ryan Day is going to want to give Kyle McCord all the confidence in the world. He's going to want to give the offensive line all the confidence in the world. I believe it's going to be pedal down for the Buckeyes. Pedal down. And I think that Kyle McCord is going to start to play better. You see glimpses of it on film. It doesn't show up all the time, but there's glimpses of it. Give me Ohio State. I like Ohio State. I'll give the points. Here's a good one that looked better in the preseason, and now there's a big cloud hanging over it for obvious reasons. But Washington is going to go and take on Michigan State. Washington's really good. I don't know if you've been listening to this show. I've been hyping them since the preseason, and they have done nothing to disappoint. They've done nothing to take me off of this stance that I think their quarterback is a bona fide Heisman candidate. They've got great wide receivers on the outside, and this is a team that can make some noise. Think about what Michael Penix has done, by the way, in his history against Michigan State. He owns the Spartans, owns them. If you go back to his days as the quarterback at Indiana, he's played this Spartan team 3 times. He's got 1,000 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Like, he owns them. And guess what? He's got great players on the outside. He's going to own them again. Of course he is. That's what Michael Penix does. This team is very consistent throwing the football. All right. This is one of the teams that nobody talks about. It's one of the best teams in the country. Penix, with his wide receiver duo of Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan, they're combining for 15 catches, 227 yards per game this season. They've combined for 5 touchdowns. Now you look at that team and you look at who they're facing, Michigan State, with all the distractions that they're facing this week. None of their own accord as the players. And players, I feel bad for you because This is a mess at Michigan State. So Harlan Barnett is going to have to step in as the interim head coach. Now you got Mark D'Antonio coming back in. And I just don't see how Michigan State plays well. Michigan State is not a very good football team. We've seen that now for better part of last year and even in a couple of games this year. Now, Noah Kim, their quarterback, has played decent, 285 pass yards per game. He's got 5 touchdowns and no interceptions in his first 2 games. They have wins over Central Michigan and Richmond. This is a giant step up in competition. You know what Washington did to Michigan State last year? I believe that this line is too small. I like Washington State. Michigan State's defense, in particular defending the pass, has been really poor for the last few seasons. There's no reason to suggest that that's going to improve all of a sudden this week against one of the more marquee passing games in all of college football. Washington State is giving 16.5, and I'm giving them with them because I'm taking the Huskies. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.